Hey Eddie, it's lovely to have you here today. I'm absolutely delighted to have you and come and talk to us about what's happening soon on the 22nd of August. I'm not going to introduce you. I'm going to ask you maybe just to introduce yourself a little bit and tell you kind of tell us what excites you about coming to the Empowering Connection conference.
Oh, well, hello, Janet, and nice to be chatting to you here. Look, I'm really looking forward to it. Last year was great. Really enjoyed last year. Uh, Eddie O'Neill's my name. I'm an empowerment coach, a life coach, and drum circle facilitator. I facilitate workshops with all kinds of groups of people, schools, colleges, community groups, corporate groups, and so on, using drumming as a way to enhance health, wellness, personal development, and yeah, general recreation and fun as well. As I say, I work in all kinds of settings. You wouldn't know where you'd find me. Uh, but I'm really looking forward to going to Blessington. Yes, last year was great in Kilkenny. We had a great session there, and yeah, that's I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant, and
Mm,
your whole ethos is about empowering people. So I
mm,
think it's just a fantastic connection, we're empowering connection conference.
yeah,
So you're going to be doing a drumming workshop, isn't that right with us? What
correct.
do you
Yes.
think you'd like the key takeaways to be for the attendees?
Okay, I think for the attendees, what I'd really like them to take away from it would be the fact of how will I put this? How easy it is, right? And how it's adaptable to anybody, and how anybody can do this, and anybody can express themselves musically uh, by simply sitting together and drumming, following a few instructions from myself, of course. It's not a workshop as such where I teach, technique or how to play specific rhythms. It's more about seeing how a drum circle can work with a group of people uh, and how it can enhance them individually and collectively as a group as well. Like, if anybody has done it before, they will, one of the things you'll remember about it is the sense of community that you'll get from a drum circle, is a sense of trust and support because we're all creating something together. We're creating an energy and a power and an energy together, and we're all part of it without having to be magnificent musicians or anything like that. Most people who do this never played music in their life, uh, and it's not important to be able to. Um, it's a matter of just sitting down. We learn one or two little baby rhythms, and away we go. But it's so healing. It's so empowering. Uh, and individually, there's wonderful benefits to be got from health benefits. It releases stress. Uh, it helps us to go inward, um, think about what we're doing in the drumming, because we're not just drumming. It's also vibration. So you have rhythm and vibration working together on our bodies, and you feel it when it's over. You really feel you just feel more relaxed, um, and in good form. You
Mm.
feel lifted and energized. Um, and as I say, many individual benefits from it as well. Um, from, as I say, stress relief, self confidence, okay, uh, builds up our self esteem. We must remember that rhythm, like, is an international language, Janet, okay? Everybody can play rhythm. We could have a group of people from 10 or 20 different countries who don't even speak the same language. We can all sit down together and drum. It's really, it's amazing. And we all know that how therapeutic music in general is. But so the main thing that I'd love to get people, yeah, to walk away was saying, "Gosh, this is great. I mean, anyone can do this. Like, people come into some of my drum circles and they're nervous, they're because they think, oh my God, I'm not a musician. How am I going to play this? But like I say, I work in all different settings. I work in schools with young children. Sit in together and have fun and play, and everybody, all the children are there. Like it doesn't matter what age they are, what culture they are, whatever. They'll sit in and they'll play together, and they'll do it. They'll pick it up and they'll be able to play it. And so can adults. Everybody can do this, Janet. Everybody can do this, and it's just wonderful fun. And I'd love people to get that from to say that, wow, this is great. Anybody can do this. And you know, I usually start off the my session by saying, and I believe this myself, that everybody is neurodiverse, right?
Mhm.
We have this thing about some people that are neurodiverse, so they're different than we are. We're not. We're all neurodiverse. No two people in the world think the same, or no two people's brains work the same. Um, so when we come together and we drum together, we do become one for the session, half an hour or an hour, whatever we're drumming for. We do become one because we all connect to the energy of the pulse of what we're playing. So that's probably all I can say about how I like people. What I'd like people to get from this is that thing that it's wow, it's so enjoyable. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, and I particularly remember our session that we had back in March, and it was so powerful to have
Yeah.
that connection together with everybody. And like you said, for people to take away how easy it is to
Yes.
apply this
To
in
apply it.
practice. And of course to bring it forward for the professionals to bring it forward to the children that they're supporting is just it's a wonderful skill that they'll be able to bring forward. Why do you think it's important that we build that connection and that collaboration for the kids that we're working with?
Wow. I think. Well, I listen. I often go to schools, for instance, okay, and I set up to go, and some of the teachers might say to me, "Oh, I don't think we'll bring little Johnny in, because he doesn't like noise." Okay, and I usually say, "Look, I'll tell you what, bring him in anyway. And if he doesn't like it, it's okay. We can take it. You can take him back out." And 9 times out of 10, what will happen is he will love it. Uh, I absolutely love it, and like because I have found that particularly children who don't know who don't like noise so much, it seems to affect them more on if they're on the periphery, if they're outside kind of listening.
Hmm.
But if they're in with the other children, with the other guys drumming, they don't seem to mind so much because I don't really know the answer why. It's something to do with because they're involved, they're playing, they're feeling the vibration and so on. Um, and that's why I think everybody, you should never say, don't let so and so do it because they may not like it. Uh, I very, very seldom found particularly children who don't like drumming. you know, everybody, but particularly children, love to play a drum. It's a primal thing that's inside in us, in everybody. We just love to express ourselves rhythmically some way, particularly drumming. It's one of the reasons why we, believe it or not, I believe anyway, why we even play sports. It's because they're all rhythmical activities, and we're all making connection with rhythm, whether we're playing hurling or swinging a golf club or a tennis racket or swimming, or cycling or wherever. Our bodies, our physiology, and our neurology just absolutely love rhythm. You know,
Yeah.
we're born into a world of rhythm, and I suppose before we're even born, the first thing we hear is when we're in the womb is our mum's heartbeat. So
Mm.
we come out into this world with this rhythm in it already in our own brains, and then we're coming into a world full of rhythm. So we can talk about, like, I mean, my work is more about rhythm than drumming.
Mm,
The
yeah.
the drums are only tools for making connection with rhythm. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's lovely. And you said that it's all about the inclusion as well, isn't it? Because you're actually
inclusion.
including people. I mean, people would assume that it's, that person is not going to like it because they don't normally like loud noises. But once somebody's involved, it's a different ball game altogether. It's actually inclusion. So we're including all of the children
Correct.
in the
Correct.
workshop, which is wonderful.
Yes.
Um, so at the conference, who would you like to have at the conference that would benefit most from your workshop? What kind of
Ooh, well,
professionals or
yeah.
parents?
Yeah. Parents, of course. Parents would be very important. Teachers, of course. SNAs would get a lot from this, I believe.
Mm.
Um, yes, parents, indeed. Yeah, parents would really. It would be a great eye opener for parents, um, teachers, SNAs, and people. I think in general who maybe who maybe work with any kind of people in a group environment. Uh, whether it be a community group or men's groups, women's groups. So I've worked in them all. I even worked in like active retirement groups, and I've worked in nursing homes
Mm.
with older people. I've worked in prisons with prisoners. Um, but I do think, yeah, anybody who works with, or maybe a youth group work, anything like that, uh, they're the type of people I'd love to see at this conference. Yeah,
Brilliant.
they would get the most. They would get the most from this.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And so when we're looking at your session overall, your overall
Mhm.
session, how do you hope that your session is going to create better connection and understanding among the attendees?
Well, I think that will happen. I won't do that as such. I'll just be facilitated. The drumming will do that. When people start to drum together, they'll naturally connect. Um, hard to put in words, but when you're doing it, you understand what I mean here.
Mm.
You just feel connected. That there's a kind of a primal connection between everybody when you're creating something. You're creating a rhythm because there's a pulse. There's always a pulse to the beat we're playing, and we all entrain what it's called. We'll all entrain to that pulse. We become one. Um, Lots of smiles. You'll see people smiling at each other and having fun as well. You completely relax.
Mhm.
And because you're playing a rhythm, and particularly if you're not used to it, you're concentrating as well on what you're doing. So that's great for a lot of people, particularly maybe people who might suffer with anxiety or whatever. It's great because you forget everything else. You're happy, you're enjoying yourself, um, and you're concentrating on the little rhythm that you're playing. You forget anything that might be bothering you and whatever. You smile at the other people beside you, and everyone feels connected in a drum circle. It's one of the big benefits of drum circle. I mean, this works a lot with corporate groups as well. People who work with each other day in day out, but don't really know each other, and they come together, have some fun in a drum circle, and you can see the diversity and as you mentioned earlier, the inclusion, everyone's included. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're playing something tricky, if you like, or if you're just tapping along with one hand, it doesn't matter. You're part of the whole, and everyone feels it. So I wouldn't worry about connection. That will happen.
It's an
that will happen.
automatic thing. Yeah.
It's
I
an automatic thing. Yes. Yeah.
I definitely felt that back in March, that connection with everybody else there.
Yeah.
It was really, really powerful. So that was essentially my last question, Eddie. So
Mm.
I've really enjoyed talking to you today. And
Same here.
this is Eddie O'Neill. He's an empowerment coach. He runs drumming circles. He does corporate training as well as training within schools and youth groups, therapy services, and He's just a fantastic human being, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you there, Eddie, on the 22nd of August in the Avon Ri. It's going to be a fantastic day. It's a beautiful location. I'm hoping for good weather so you can be outside with it. I think
Yeah.
that would be lovely. We have Karen who works with me. She's hoping over the lunchtime to do a bit of a kind of a mindfulness session as well, which will complement that
Lovely.
before we get into Maria's play session. So it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful day. So thanks so much
Yeah.
for giving me your time today, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you very much, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'll see you then, if not beforehand. Okay.
Thanks a million. Bye bye.
God bless. Thank you.